Hi, guys, and welcome to Hadeda Insights, where we help financial advisors find the right tech without getting too overwhelmed. The problem facing financial advisors is the amount of technology that's available. This makes it so difficult for an advisor to know what's available and then compare technology for best fit in their practice. I haven't changed medical aid for years, and not because there isn't something better, it's because I just don't feel equipped to know how to do a proper comparison or even what's out there. So here's where Hadeda comes in. It's tried to make life easier for advisors. Hadeda vets technology providers and their products so that advisors don't have to. And if they pass the test, Hadeda lists them on their newly released marketplace. This is where vendors and financial advisors meet. And taking it a step further, as they like to do, Hadeda also has a tech finder where, following the completion of a questionnaire, the financial advisor is matched up with the best possible technology products based on their needs. Matthew, and today we're featuring one of Hadeda's vetted technology providers, FindotNews, and we explore their platform and what's changing and how the financial advisors stay informed. So, my basic understanding on FindotNews brings advisors real-time industry-specific updates to keep them ahead or compliance changes, market shifts, and client conversations. Whether you're a solo or running a large practice, this is about staying informed without spending hours digging through the noise. Okay, that sounds like a lot of noise for me, so let's rather just get involved and ask the people that actually created Findot. I'm joined today by Paddy Crook from FindotNews. And Paddy, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, hi Matthew. Thank you so much for inviting me on here. So I'm Paddy Crook. I'm the managing director of Dot News, which is the parent company of the service we're speaking about today, FindotNews. Dot News itself has been around for over 20 years now. We actually started in 2005 with a client newsletter service for attorneys, where essentially we wrote content for accountants, attorneys, back in 2005. And back then it was a very simple service. Some years doing the newsletter service, we were approached by Psycha, and we founded accounting.news in 2011. And that was a very successful service. And we realized that financial advisors have a very similar use case. They need to communicate to their clients very technical, complicated content in a very simple manner to their clients. And very often their clients receive very complicated information that they need really kind of knock them down, but to be easy to understand for your layman so that you can drive engagement with them. So in 2020, just around COVID, which was I think a disaster for pretty much everyone at the time there, but we founded FindotNews in 2020, and we partnered with Linda Graham of Fin Communications, who is a qualified CFP. She's been running a marketing agency for many years, specializing in financial advisors, as well as Nick Dahl, who was her resident copywriter, and he's authored many books in South Africa. So the two of them are really our partners and our entry into the financial advisor world. And they have a large amount of knowledge in that industry, and they're able to really kind of craft content that is very accessible, but also actionable and engaging for when a financial advisor speaks to their client. So in a nutshell, we produce content, articles every month for the financial advisor to then send out to their clients, whether that's on the newsletter service, on their website, in social media. We create this content that is highly relevant, highly actionable, highly topical, and the financial advisor doesn't necessarily need to go through the taxing process of actually creating that content. And when they want to create content of their own, we're able to craft something appropriate for them. But we've got this bank of articles which have been written specifically for them.
So you guys went out there and you tried to fix something that was presumably broken, or you tried to identify a problem. In simple terms, what problem does FindotNews solve for financial advisors?
Well, as I said earlier, the problem that financial advisors often face is they are trying to communicate very complicated information. There's always change in regulations. There's a variety of tax-related matters, wills and estates, very sensitive, complicated issues that also are very emotional. When you're talking about someone's investment habits, during COVID, we saw it a lot where, um, people were suddenly changing all their investments. They thought the world was coming to an end. Advisors really needed to communicate to their clients that, hang on, stay the course. Everything's going to be fine. Keep putting your money in, chase the market trends. And those kind of key communication points are what we needed to put across to their clients. And that really is that regular communication to ensure that you stay top of mind with your clients when an issue arises, as well as keeping them assured during crisis moments.
I think that's incredible because, for any professional, if you just go onto the net and you start reading, there's a lot of stuff out there. And I think where we're lucky in this day is that we've got information at our fingertips, but not all information is the same and the quality is different, and trusting the source becomes now an issue with AI and everything. So my question is, why is access to the right information, not just more information, so important for advisors today?
Yeah, well, I think you raised a very good point about AI and the reliability of that information. There's been a large amount of progress, exponential progress on how AI has been developing. But I think there's also been a large amount of concern around the reliability of that information. And that's why we always rely on qualified professionals. AI is the tool that you can use to double the amount of work you can do, but you've still got to do that work. You've still got to be the one putting in whatever prompt, using whatever tool, and checking the outputs of that AI service. So we always use qualified professionals. For instance, Linda Graham is a qualified CFP, professional in marketing for financial advisors. Nick Dorr is a wordsmith. He's written many books for the South African market. Some of our authors are regular contributors. Patrick Cairns, who was the head editor of MoneyWeb for many years. Sharon Wood, who's got a master's, and probably going to kill me because I can't remember. I think it's a bachelor in economics. Well qualified, and she writes some of our more technical content with regards to the market update. So really, you don't want to be relying on artificial intelligence the whole way. You always need a human involved. And in this environment, misinformation is rife. And that's why you need qualified professionals to help you actually get the right message across and accurate information.
I suppose you said the risk, of giving your clients the wrong information just because you don't know what's qualified and what's right, real, and what's not out there. That could be quite devastating. What do you see as the biggest challenge that advisors face in staying current and credible with their clients?
Well, financial advisors have a huge resource of information, but it's really whittling it down to actionable insights. I've seen many advisors send very complicated market updates, for instances, where it tracks every index under the sun. You're getting very, very complicated content out to your clients, but there's no real understanding or engagement from your clients. So really kind of simplifying your message to the opportunities and threats that are out there in the environment. You don't want to be explaining every minutia point as to what they need to be considering with regards to their financial planning. That's why you're there. That's why you're the professional. But what you want to be doing is telling them, hey, look, you need to be topping up on your tax-free savings account. Why aren't you doing that? Just having a little article about the fact that the tax-free savings threshold has increased. Or similarly, if your retirement annuity at the end of the tax year, getting these punctual, relevant examples out that are quick and easy, rather than complicating them with a million different pieces of advice. Actionable insights at the right time is really kind of what you need.
That could be quite a big challenge if you're an advisor and you're trying to stay current and have up-to-date information, and you're having to scour the sources, across the web to kind of stay up to date. It could be quite challenging to get real-time information out if you're not leaning on anyone or anything to support you, which kind of leans into the solution. So why don't you walk us through how FindotNews works, and from the beginning, what does an advisor see when they log in?
We are a service-first company that has our own software that we built. So a client can manage their recipient list, but it's actually quite bare bones when it comes down to the platform itself. What we do is every month you receive your content package in a newsletter format. Now, we've got our own software that we built, but there's also, we could be relying on, depending on your particular use case, there might be a MailChimp solution, there might be some other CRM that you need to use. We've built a software service that has allowed us to easily deliver content to you, which then you can amend, edit, customize as you need. And without lifting a finger, you can have your newsletter going out. If you're wanting to tweak it, customize it, it's literally just an email. You don't need to log in anywhere, remember any passwords.
We see a big challenge in the industry is then, you know, having to spend so much time finding relevant data and finding relevant news to stay credible with clients. And if you're spending all that energy searching around for what's right and trying to vet it yourself, you might not even have it at your fingertips. You might fall behind and you might not be relevant anymore because the moment's passed. And that effort really is taking away from your core service of actually servicing your clients and implementing the advice that you're giving. So let's move on to the solution. Okay. Why don't you walk us through what FindotNews does and how it works?
Yeah, so the FindotNews service is very simple. It's designed to minimize as much of your admin as possible. We've got our own custom software on the back end that makes everything, we believe in automation with the human touch. And we've automated as much of our processes as possible, such that you receive human written content. There's always a human involved in everything we do. You receive human written content towards the end of every month, which has 4 or 5 articles covering a variety of areas within financial planning. You can then pick and choose your articles. You can swap them, amend them. Our team's there ready to adjust that content for you. We can also create bespoke content that you have yourself, that you have written yourself, and then we transmit for your client. We handle all of the design work, all of the admin around actually doing the research for the articles themselves, as well as any kind of administrative task. If you are wanting just to send us a client list that gets updated every couple months, and then we send it out for you, that's perfectly fine. You'll have a regular touch point every month with your clients, sending them actionable insights. At the same time, we stay customizable and flexible according to your needs.
That's amazing, Paddy. So basically what you're saying is this is very relevant, credible, and already vetted information at your fingertips, ready to be wrapped up and packaged in a great way to keep your clients informed so that you can focus on what it is that's important to you, and that's implementing and giving good advice. So let's just take a look. If I had to ask you, and I'm putting you on the spot, what makes FindotNews different from other news platforms?
Well, I think we really are writing on your behalf. Very often, you're either receiving content that is written for you as a financial advisor that then you need to whittle down or rework to make it accessible to your clients, or you are receiving content that is maybe not for your particular use case. Very often we find there are advisors who have been sending out non-South African relevant content, kind of generic advice that isn't particular or topical to what's going on in South Africa right now. So we have this very unique understanding of the financial planning environment, the financial planning industry, and what you need to communicate to your clients and when. And we make that as digestible and as accessible to your clients as possible, driving those valuable engagements.
Great. So we can engage with your platform just as we need. We can get some support from you, do it ourselves, customize it somewhere in the middle, which makes it a little different and unique just for my needs. Perfect. Okay. Now, we've said what the problem was quite clearly. There's so much information out there, but we don't know what's right, what's relevant, and what's real. So I'm going to ask you the $1,000,000 question that everyone wants to know. How do you ensure that the content that you push out is relevant and trustworthy for South African advisors?
Well, coming from the legal and accounting background that I do, we've already had a very high bar for ensuring that all our content is technically accurate. And we've followed those processes through with our FindotNews publication. As I've mentioned before, we've got a qualified CFP, we've got financial journalists who are well reputed in the industry. And then we've also got the personal touch of actually being able to whittle it down with a professional editor. So we've got specialists writing specialist content who are familiar with the industry. And through our content generation process, every month we produce these articles which go through multiple layers of checking. And not only that, but once you receive your draft, we would have a few different advisors receiving that and checking it for us. So it actually works to a financial advisor's benefit, because anything that is of concern is flagged to us with the content that we produce. So we've got kind of the benefit of scaling there as well, that many content providers wouldn't have just by having an individual, one person producing an article. You've now got a full team of qualified professionals, as well as other financial advisors checking your articles.
So, look, another thing that's very prevalent in any financial service is, like advisors, they're busy. They're busy, very, very busy. They are time poor. They don't have a lot of time to get a lot of the niceties done. So how does FindotNews help them cut through the clutter and just focus on what matters?
Yeah, well, every month we provide you these articles ready to go. They have been written by professionals. They're coming to you a few working days before they actually go out to your clients. And we would have set up all of the technical effort for you. So you can have a ready to go newsletter from the moment you actually receive it. You can say, I want to send it out. And just at a press of a button, we do that. Ready to go. That large number of our clients don't need to make adjustments. And especially if you are a small professional who just doesn't have the time to look at it every month, we gain a high level of trust with our advisors who see the content, read through it, double check it, and their only responsibilities every month is to make sure that the list of their clients is up to date, and they give it a read through just to make sure they are aware as to what they're sending out to their clients. So most of our clients only spend 5 minutes a month on managing their newsletter.
So basically, all around just saving us time, well, saving advisors time, and so that they can focus on things that are definitely more in their core focus. Fantastic. Right. So let's talk about some real life stuff and get practical. Who is kind of using FindotNews at the moment? Are there any specific types of practices or sizes that you see strong results?
Yeah, so we've got a few different models that we've been employing. We found that very often your small practitioner struggles with time, struggles with resources. We are able to provide services starting as little as 650 Rand a month to start communicating with your clients on a monthly basis. And I mean, at that price tag, it's the cost of a lunch, and the benefit is huge. So you can really kind of start bare bones as a small practitioner, and you don't need to spend any time, which is a small practitioner's most most valuable thing is their time. That's billable hours. So we're able to provide that solution for your very small firm, but we've also got the customization and flexibility, and we've got enough of a team behind us that we can cater for larger firms as well. So I would say the majority of our client base are smaller firms, but we've got a few firms that are 40, 50 advisors strong. We've also started trialing a new service where essentially you, as an independent advisor working under the label of a larger entity, can market yourself to your own client base. So rather than the firm as an entity marketing itself, it would be you, me, Paddy Crook, as a CFP. If I were ever to be so fortunate as gaining that experience, I would then be able to market myself under that of the larger firm. So we are incredibly flexible. We have also the resources available to us through Linda's company, Fin Communications, that's dealt with many large entities, including the FBI. She was one of the main marketing people for the FPI, and we're able to essentially scale our service offering according to any firm size, accessible to all and effective for all.
Perfect. Okay, so size doesn't matter. You guys have got the financial advisors, no matter what size they are, you can look after them. Right. The important question, where can advisors go to explore News and learn more about your offering?
Yeah, great. So, I mean, we've got our website, www.fin.news.co.za. That's FINDOTNEWS. At the website, you can very easily sign up online. All of our pricing is completely transparent. So go on there. We've got a little calculator. You say how large your mailing list is. If you're wanting some additional services, we do things like social media management and website design. You just select those options, and Bob's your uncle. The pricing calculator will tell you what your monthly expense would be. So it's very transparent, very easy to sign up, and we work on a 30-day notice. So if you're feeling as though you're not receiving benefit of the service, then you're welcome to cancel.
For advisors watching today who aren't sure where to start, what's the one thing you'd suggest that they do to get more control over their information flow?
Well, I mean, it's really about educating yourself and following the right channels. You know, there's a wide variety of sources out there, including our own channels. Follow us on LinkedIn. Please connect with me. I often share our insights. Linda Graham as well. She's often kind of publishing very interesting tidbits that you should probably be aware of as a financial advisor to communicate to your clients. Follow the right channels, FPI, find local networks.
Paddy, and finally, what excites you most about the future of information accessibility for financial advisors in South Africa?
The biggest thing is the change we are all going through right now with AI. Financial advisors are in a landscape that is constantly evolving, constantly changing. Your clients are now educating themselves through AI, be that a good thing or a bad thing. And you want to be putting out information that you are certain is accurate and maybe contradicts some of that misinformation that is out there. Similarly, your entire practice will be changing. The tools you use, mechanisms that you employ on a daily basis will change. And .news is also having to update and change and take advantage of the real opportunities and also be aware of the threats. I think there's a lot of marketing talk around AI, the benefits and pros on AI, and there will be a huge amount of benefit and productivity increase. But there's also a large amount of danger in trusting that too much, just as the financial planning industry will change with regards to learning more about AI and how to better use it. So your content production will change. And we hope to be a part of that. And we're very excited to see where that evolves into, how the services of the financial advisor is going to change, how your clients are going to change, and how we are going to change to fit into that piece of the puzzle. So yeah, very exciting times with regards to AI and the future of financial planning.
Paddy, thank you so much for your insights. Thank you for joining us on Hadeda Insights. And to the viewers, if you want to learn more about Fin.News, you can explore it on our marketplace at www.hadeda.co.za and run a free tech check just to see what else your business might need. New interviews drop monthly, so hit subscribe, follow us on LinkedIn, and keep building the tech stack your business deserves the DIY way. See you next time. Thanks.